There was a moment in 2010 that was a before and after moment for you as a human and as an advocate. Tell us about it.
Well, I'd already, in the 1980s, been through cancer as a young man and a massive road traffic accident that I was lucky to survive. But in 2010, the really big one came, which was being in a light aircraft that had lost power and control and crashed. And it was all pretty dramatic stuff. I was trapped in the wreckage. There were two of us on the plane. I was trapped in the wreckage, covered in fuel oil, thinking, well, I've survived the impact. But we're probably going to, I can see the picture now. I'd rather not see it, to be honest with you.
Sorry, yeah, we have it up for the YouTube audience.
I know. It's not something I look at. Unbelievable that I survived. I mean, I was badly broken. I mean, everything was ribs and split sternum and punctured lungs and all sorts of things like that. But hey, you know what? I'm here. I'm alive. I'm healthy. The pilot's not here. And this is the way life can be. So I, ever since 2010, have taken the view that I really shouldn't be here. And because of that, you really have to treat life as a bonus. You value what life is quite a lot more, I think, than I did before. And you know something? When you've been in a plane that's coming down to earth and you think this is your last few seconds, why on earth would I worry about some loser criticizing me on Twitter? I mean, I think probably it did make me even more fearless in standing up in the European Parliament, standing up in front of, sort of baying mobs on BBC programs in this country. I wouldn't recommend an experience like this for anyone watching. This is not exactly recommended training, but it did help me to be able to be, I suppose, the word is brave, or brave or stupid. I mean, you pay your money, take
fine line.
Yeah, but it probably is really. But I tell you what's interesting. If one person is prepared to stand up and like Kirk Douglas and say, "I'm Spartacus," when people see others taking a lead, saying and emoting on issues that they feel the same about, that then gives them the room to feel comfortable and stand up. And it's in this week when we're mourning the loss of the Queen, we're remembering her faultless leadership. That's why tens of millions of people in this country have been in tears for the last week. Human beings need leaders. Human beings need someone to shine a light. And when those figures come along, they follow. So what is needed within conservative movements are people of courage, people who've got some integrity, but above all, people who've got courage. And you mentioned Ron DeSantis earlier on. Well, thank goodness the conservative movement in America is beginning to find some stars like him. And whatever you think of Donald Trump, and some people think he's a bit rough around the edges, others think he's a total hero. I like him very much personally. But again, Trump does actually have courage. He stands up and confronts these issues. But I'm not seeing much of that in the current British Conservative Party.
Well, I know you've written that Liz Truss has her work cut out for her because your country's going through a lot of the same things that mine is. You have a massive crime issue. You have massive problems with immigration. Your inflation numbers are out of control. Europe, in a way that even puts America to shame, is dealing with a massive energy crisis right now, where I'm told that you could be looking at, is it 22%? Is that what I read? It was something that you had written, some 22%.
Yes.
Inflation next year if the energy prices continue to climb and energy bills through the roof.
Yeah, 22% inflation is a real possibility.
Wow.
In fact, Liz Truss was giving her first major speech as Prime Minister when a piece of paper was delivered into the House of Commons explaining the Queen's health predicament. So we didn't really get all of that debate. Now, if Truss does what she does, it may help in the short term to bring those inflation rates down. But please, anybody watching or listening to this in America, learn a lesson. Europe and the United Kingdom have willfully and deliberately decided they do not want to be energy self-sufficient. No. We're going green. We're going to be the good guys. We're going to save the world. Never mind that China is building 80 gigantic new coal-fired power stations every year. Never mind that the UK produces less than 1% of global CO2. No, we are going to make sure that our consumer bills are loaded with big subsidy, which we can give to multinational corporations. They can then pay it on to Chinese companies manufacturing wind turbines, and we can call ourselves the savior of the world. And oh dear, something's gone wrong. And the lights may now go out in February. It is complete and utter madness. You know, if renewable technology works, fine, but it shouldn't have government subsidy. It should operate and work in the free market. And if you rely on intermittent energy too much, you leave yourselves in a very, very vulnerable position. And this was Boris Johnson. I mean, Blair started all this 20 years ago, but Boris Johnson's biggest single policy failure is through his net zero target. He encouraged manufacturing jobs to leave the country and for us to import lots of our energy. And that says, look, we've cut our CO2 output. It is completely insane. And Trump did put America in the right place on energy. Biden, well, he doesn't seem to be so keen, but to be self-sufficient in an uncertain world. And that's what Europe hasn't done. And Putin now has the West in the palm of his hand. And if he decides to turn very, very nasty, then we could be in real trouble.
Have you ever had a friend who's just naturally talented at things? They just pick up a sport or a hobby. They immediately become good at it. They make it look easy. If you don't have that friend, it's you. And we all secretly despise you. The good news is no matter who you are, you can make great food look easy with Good Ranchers. See, Good Ranchers sources the highest quality meat in America. Number one, best. And more importantly, they can prove it. Each piece of meat is from real American farms and is hand cut and trimmed by real American workers. They only source from farms that meet their standards of excellence, which means it's pasture raised. That's what you need to be looking for. No antibiotics ever and no added hormones. Good Ranchers is so confident in the quality that they sell, they're going to have a 100% satisfaction guarantee on every box they ship to you. Plus, you can use my code, Megyn, to get free shipping and $30 off on your first order. They have won awards like Best Food Subscription, and they have been part of the INC 5000 list, Inc. 5000 list of America's fastest growing companies. But their mission is still the same, bringing everyone to the table to share in the best of what makes life good. If you want the best, if you want to be the best, if you want everybody to envy you and your cooking skills, go with Good Ranchers. Visit goodranchers.com/Megyn, that's Megyn, to save on American meat delivered right to your door. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.